Seltzer Time!
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time Podcast. It's your boy Ricky, a.k.a. Dick Chuck, a.k.a. the man behind the can at Seltzer Time Official. Here as always with my conversation accomplice, the man with the hunch about Worcester, Travis.
What is crackin' Fizzle Fiends? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time Podcast. And as always, we are delighted that you are here. This week on the show, we are talking to the guys from the LonelyMans Podcast. But before we get there, y'all know what we have to do. Hey, Ricky. How was your week, pal?
Hey, buddy. My week was
Let's just think of more words to say. Chum. Guy.
Good day, chum. My week was great. I'm trying to remember if it snowed. I'm sure it did at some point. It usually does that now. Yeah, I've just been hanging out. There was not a lot of hockey games on, which kind of sucked, but the Bruins played the Flyers yesterday in the outdoor game, and it was so much fun. The Winter Classic that's the thing that happens every year on New Year's Day. I like that, but it's definitely not the event that it was when it first started. Because it started with like one game a year, and now there's like 57 teams playing an outdoor game, and there's like 6 outdoor games. Fuck, sucks. But this year, obviously, they had to like change things up because of COVID, and the way they did this, I'm actually I'm very interested because my team played and they fucking crushed it. They won like 6-2 or 6-3 or something.
Bruins ended up winning last night.
Yeah. They killed it.
They were down in the first, right?
So
my sister was watching. My sister and her boyfriend are Bruins fans. I'm not. So I know Pasternak scored the only 2 goals, but they were down.
Pasta scored first because he scored like 50 seconds or something like that. He scored very early in the game. And then Philly scored. Philly might have scored 2 in a row. I don't remember. I think it was 2-2 after the first. And then all of a sudden they went crazy and they won. I think it was either 6-3 or 7-3 or 6-2 or something like that.
She was saying how gorgeous the whole scene was that they were playing.
It was beautiful. And like, I know they'll never do this because like I understand like there's a lot of money involved in the Winter Classic, but the way this whole game came together, the NHL's like chief content strategist kind of came up with this idea, like we can't have fans, so let's put an ice rink in a random fucking place. And it was wildly successful for the NHL. Like everybody was talking about it. The teams they literally could not have picked 4 better teams to showcase there. Both games were great. They had issues on Saturday where they had to delay the game because the ice was melting because it was out in the sun, and like that mixed with like the blades and all that. So they delayed the game for like 10 hours and they played it like way later that night. And it was awesome. It was a great game. The Bruins game, they pushed back. It was supposed to be like 3 p.m. Eastern time, and they pushed it back to 7:30. But then they had to push it back to 8 because of the Zamboni issue. But it's whatever. But this all came together so quick. They only went to visit that space one time and just made the decision, which is so unlike anything in professional sports where it's like years in the making. It's a bunch of bull crap. It's all this. It was so like how things should be in my perfect world where it's like, no, that's dope. Let's do it. And they killed it. They absolutely killed it. Game presentation was beautiful. The teams leaned way into it. The Bruins, every year that a Boston team has won a championship, something happens or there's something that like stands out. I mean, obviously when you win a championship, things stand out, but like there's something usually early in the season that you can kind of like, you get this feeling where it like ties things together. I got that last night. I'm now on record saying the Boston Bruins will win the Stanley Cup because they walked from the hotel down to the little dressing thing that they built for them in straight up like 90s jumpsuits. Yeah, they had like all this like 90s, like super 90s retro gear. They had like old school like Bruins playoff shirts from 1990, all kinds of, it was just the most beautiful, like funny, leaning into the team, being a team together, walking down. It went crazy viral all over social media last night. Pasta had like the Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's what that's from.
Yeah.
So I saw that photo. Dude,
look up the photo of them all walking down because it's glorious. Like fucking glorious. It's unbelievable. And I saw that and I was like, there it is. There it is. That's the moment when they win the cup. We're going to go back and that's going to be a thing that plays it because no other team did that. Like the other teams showed up and they had fun. It was great all around. But that's the thing that like took it to that next level and they leaned way, way, way into it.
Just
and then at the
like a team.
Exactly. And then at the end of the game, so normally during a playoff game, when the game ends, they do the handshake line. The only other time they do that in a regular season is after these outdoor games because they're technically regular season games, but there's a whole different feel to it. The game on Saturday didn't do that. Both teams just left. And yesterday at the end of the game, they brought it up and they're like, oh, normally there's a handshake line, but it looks like they're not going to do that. But like the Bruins coaches had all gone out on the ice. Then some of the Philly players had left the ice. And then Bergeron skated over to the middle and then they all came back out and they did the handshake line. And it was just so sick. I was like, it's like so exciting to me to see a team go from like doing this weird, like dress up thing that it's funny, it's super lighthearted, but it like really builds them as a team. It also plays into the fact that like you're trying to build the game. You need to go viral. Like you need to do these things to like get other people's attention. But then at the end of the game, you do the most like traditional thing you possibly could do. It was fucking beautiful. And I absolutely love the Boston Bruins. I'm very excited for another championship parade. Hopefully I can go to it.
Hopefully they wear those glasses and the suits.
Dude, that's my vibe for the rest of the year. I'm just going to get some.
Did you get a pair? Brian was wearing a pair of those last night during our wrestling stream. It was like,
dude, yeah. How was that?
It was great. So like we had 2 great streams this weekend with the Woot Nanny guys. Did the sort of late show on Saturday night. That was very funny. It's always just interesting to do these shows on Twitch and on computers. And there were some glitches and poor Doug Gurton got piled up on, and big shout out to Doug Gurton. We love him. And then last night was Will Smalley is a comedian out of Boston, has been working with Brian O'Donnell, comedian here in Worcester. And the two of them are big wrestling fans. And they put together this game show last night for comedians that are also wrestling fans. So it was like a wrestling trivia game, but it was also like wrestling head to head where they had to take each other out. There was shit talk. So There was also shenanigans. Brian had worked with Will, and basically they did a face and a heel. So a good guy and a bad guy. Yeah. Will Smalley was the good guy and Brian was the bad guy, which is perfect, on brand for Brian. That meatball Brian O'Donnell. So Brian had cheated for Doug and swapped out all of his questions to have the answer be Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the only wrestler that Doug Gurton knows. Or, well, not the only wrestler, but his favorite wrestler, his idol.
Okay.
Which was great. It pissed off. I was in on the joke. It pissed off all the other contestants because everybody's like, what the hell is this? I thought this was an above board like game. Well, it was all to build because Will and Brian had purchased a cameo from Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So it like right at where Doug would have taken the lead and had an advantage, they put up this video from Hacksaw Jim Duggan calling Doug a cheater and telling him that he was eliminated. It was beautiful.
That's so awesome.
And in the StreamYard, in the platform we use to stream, like I could see people's faces down here. Like even when they're not on stream, I could see their cameras. Doug's face was just like, the entire time. It was so perfect. So big shout out to Will and Brian. Nice work, gentlemen. Their plan is to do those around the same time as the wrestling pay-per-views every month. So
that's so smart.
Yeah. And we have a weird chaos stream tonight. I don't know. It's going to be like an open mic madness thing.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun working with those dudes. I'm learning a lot about comedy, but I'm also just like, it's fun to have a project like that to play with. I've always wanted to get into Twitch, but I didn't have enough content on my own. So now I don't have to worry about developing content. I just have to worry about marketing it, which is kind of in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super fun. I mean, I wish that I had a little more time. Like I could watch more of these things. Because everything that you guys are doing has been phenomenal. It's super, super exciting. And I just love the fact that, like, you know, they needed something to do. Instead of just taking time off, they adapted and switched it over. And now you can watch comedy shows from your living room. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Or your computer or your phone.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
Exactly. We're trying to get them up on YouTube so that they live for a little longer. Cause it's always been my complaint. I couldn't go to all the sort of late shows back when, you know, pre-pandemic life.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, come on guys, record them so I could watch them at my leisure.
Yeah.
Now we can do that. And going forward, it looks like we're going to try to make that part of the platform for forever. So like back when, if we go back to Nick's, somehow run a camera or set it up in a situation where we can either record it and stream it or stream it and whatever.
Cool. That's so rad.
Yeah. So
love it.
And then, the other cool thing that happened is that it's like you said, it's snowed and it's cold. So Sarah and I decided to strap on the winter weather clothes and we went for a walk. So we started over at Newton Hill Park, which has the disc golf, and there were guys out there playing disc golf. And I was like, man, I've never played disc golf in the snow. That sounds super fun. So I might call up Mike Shue and be like, yo, Mike, let's go pal around in the snow. Cause that's another one of my things I really want to do.
There you go. I've never played disc golf and I would be horrible at it. So if you guys want to have somebody to shit on, let me know.
It may just start with you and me. I have plenty of discs if you want to go out and just shoot the shit. It's basically a reason to drink beer in the woods.
I bought a golf disc one time by accident. When I was younger, I got like really into, this sounds like I'm like the biggest Dave Matthews Band fan ever, but
Ultimate Frisbee.
Really into Frisbee for a second. I was just like playing with my friends, but don't worry, I still listened to Blink when I did it, and my basketball shorts were falling off the entire time because it was punk as fuck. But it was the most like Dave Matthews Band thing I've ever done. So I went to buy like a new Frisbee once, and I saw a disc. I never even heard of disc golf, and I saw a disc golf Frisbee, and I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like, it doesn't feel like a Frisbee, and it makes no fucking sense that it's that heavy, but like, let's do this. So I bought one, brought it home, and tried to play Frisbee with my brother. It fucking hurts. And it also like doesn't go straight. It goes.
It's on how you throw it, but yeah, it's not set up like a normal Frisbee.
Yeah, no, not at all. I was really confused. And then finally somebody was like, well, you're playing with a disc golf Frisbee. And I was really confused at that point because I didn't even know there was a thing.
So there's a free course at Newton Hill Park.
No, yeah, I've walked around up there. I know what it is now. Also, once you start working in craft beer, everybody in the world plays disc golf and they want to talk to you about it. And I don't know shit about it. So
sorry, what I just said, it's a reason to drink beer in the woods. And those craft beer guys are always looking for those. Oh, yeah. So we started over there and then we went over to Elm Park because we kind of crushed those paths pretty quickly. We were walking out on the ponds at Elm Park before we realized like where we were in terms of, because I'm staring at the underside of the bridge and I'm like, oh,
you're like under the bridge, like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's supposed to be water under here. And we were just following other people's footprints. And then I saw that people were out there, like somebody had shoveled before the last snowstorm, shoveled off an area to skate. So I really want to coordinate a bunch of homies going out to Elm Park and just go skating. I don't know where to park at Indian Lake. Like, I want to go out and skate there. I just don't know where to park. Like, is there a public spot?
Yeah, there's on like the side of the lake where like
Shore Beach.
Maybe. I don't know the names of the spots, but like, so there's a lot of spots there. The best spot to park would be, there's like a tennis court on like my side of the lake, I guess is the only way I can describe it. But if you leave my house and go down, you get to the lake. It kind of by like where Danielle lives, like it's right there. there's a basketball court or a tennis court, and there's a huge, like a decent ass size parking lot. Everybody parks there. Okay. That's the only place where you would skate. That's kind of the only like actual parking area on that side. You could park at Crust and walk up too. It's not that far. Or the school's right there. There's a decent amount of parking, but I would suggest parking. Okay. There is a dedicated lot to it.
Perfect. Well, I really want to go out and skate. It's been my goal this winter. These stupid things have stayed right there the entire time. So, and we got Sarah skates. It's time.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I believe it's time to check in with the boys.
Let's do it.
Take it away, us. What is cracking, Fizzle Fiends? This week on the show, we are talking to Jesse Burlingame and Ben Bo from the LonelyMans Podcast. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thanks for joining us. So,
I like your merch, by the way. Before we even get into it, I just gotta say these hoodies are perfect.
Yeah, let's do plugs right up top. Right up top, baby. Teespring.com.
The worst part about this hoodie, the funniest part is I wore it, and my niece, she's in like middle school. She immediately recognized the logo and started dying. She's like 12 or 13. She was like, oh, and I was like, man, OnlyFans has gotten too much. And
yeah, all the seniors in her high school are making six figures a year now.
Bro, she's seriously in middle school. That's the problem. She's in middle school. She's not even in high school yet. If she was in high school, I would have been like, all right, that makes sense. You got like half your school that's getting paid. We get it.
Yeah.
But like middle school, this is starting too soon. Like the middle school OnlyFans, not my jam. I don't get down like that. It's
fuck that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody should get down like that personally, but I completely understand.
But it's like, I get it if you do, but like, it's just not my thing.
You're real respectful, and I like that about you.
Isn't that like a thing on TikTok? Like it's a big problem on TikTok?
Probably.
Let's get right into this immediately.
This is our show, gentlemen. Welcome.
We had you guys on to talk about the problems of OnlyFans and TikTok within the middle schools of America.
Let's talk about TikTok human trafficking real quick if we could.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I just feel like if there's not, there probably is headed towards. Like, how can you not? Right? Like that's got to be the forum for it, right? Like, how can things not go there? If we're just being like, that's what human nature does, right? We make something and then we take it to like the lowest common denominator, like right off the bat. We're like, internet, we can do anything. Let's get titties on here. Like we did that, like right off the bat, right? Like that's what we do with anything we make. We just take.
And TikTok is like everything but the titties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
For now.
Have a TikTok.
Yeah, for now.
Well, that's what the OnlyFans is for.
It's the gateway drug or the gateway
you're just
app.
Teasing the OnlyFans on the TikTok because that's what
exactly.
Nailed it.
See, I'm not into that side of TikTok. Like lately, I've been watching some lady who sleepwalks and does ridiculous shit, and she.
My girlfriend watches her.
She's ridiculous, and I sit there and keep wondering like how much of this is real and how much of this is embellished. But
is she videotaping herself sleepwalking?
Security cams in her house, so it's all like black and white night footage.
So she just keeps setting off like the Ring cameras inside of her hallways and stuff.
And I think she's realized that. I mean, she has thousands of followers now, so she's put in a whole bunch just for content. So she sees pretty much every angle of her house.
I didn't know that there were like multiple versions of TikTok. Like I thought everybody saw the same stuff. And then one day I was like, no, I didn't know that until my girlfriend got on it. And she's like laughing and watching like all these people like cooking food, and then mine is just like body yaddy yaddy yaddy. It's just like girls dancing. I'm like, did you see this? It's just like we have very different TikToks.
How do you get different TikToks?
Like, you interact with different posts. I found my way to stoner TikTok, believe it or not, and
I believe it.
Yeah, so I'm just watching a whole bunch of other people make bongs and shit out of household devices.
Whoa! So just based off of what you like, your TikTok might be completely different than anybody else's.
Yeah. The algorithm just like gets to know you, which is
it's like your Instagram discover page too. Like mine's all chicks in bikinis, and other people are like, I'm not a sex addict like you, so I don't.
Mine's all pictures of Tom DeLonge. I'm like, I don't even follow Blink-182. I just listen to it sometimes.
You hear that single fan they still have?
It is definitely me.
Yeah, you're still. I'm going to the reunion tour. You're that guy. You know what's weird, Jesse, is that for people like who hang out as much as we do, we have like nothing in common. Like mine is all like random sports and like hip hop beefs. I don't know how that happened, but we have like nothing in common except for our sexual addictions and 90s hip hop music. I don't know how that happened,
What? That's all we need, dude. Those are the
Seriously.
ties that bind us.
Yeah,
So those are the two things that keep everybody in the same level.
they're pretty strong. They're pretty strong bonds. We did used to smoke weed. That was a thing we did together. But that's been like 2 years you haven't smoked weed. So
No, and no one really noticed.
You kicked the devil's lettuce.
did notice.
Everyone's
at
too
all.
high to notice that I got sober, kind of.
Because everyone around you is still smoking weed, so they forgot you're like the
Yeah.
one sober person in there.
I just like pass it real quick. No one even recognize it.
Yeah, you're still there. You're still actually considered a stoner by most people. Like, I don't know if you know that. Most people just like, oh, Jesse, yeah, no, he's a stoner. Definitely a party.
Lumped in.
Yeah, I smoked weed for half my life. I'll take that. That's fine. I got my stripe still.
Yeah, that's what they call the new that's the new website for like shitty people. It's just called lumped in. You're not linked into anybody. You're just being lumped in with these people. Alcoholics, yeah, no, lump them in.
I'm gonna edit that out because that's a $1 million app idea.
Yeah, but I'm still going to get a million notifications like these 5 people, we're not going to tell you who, looked at your profile. No, they're not going to give you a job. And I'm like, fuck.
Man, I don't even know. I still have a LinkedIn, and that's just gotten more like Twitter or Facebook than it has anything. Like people posting their like right-wing business beliefs on LinkedIn now. I
Yeah.
can't.
LinkedIn's a nightmare.
No, it is. I need to get a job in Texas though. That's a
LinkedIn won't be cool until they use it for human sex trafficking, which I'm sure they'll get there.
I'm surprised they don't. That's just LinkedIn Premium, right? Once you pay for the pro, you can pay for the hose.
Exactly.
I've never
That's what you
pay for the
it.
pro, pay for the hose. Jesus Christ. If that is not their slogan, it needs to be.
Double
right.
down. I'm with
Is
it.
Epstein's LinkedIn page still active, or did they get rid of that?
I haven't checked in a while.
It did not delete itself.
Still a lot of foot traffic to his page. It's still a lot of
Jesus.
being had on his behalf.
All right. So for anybody that is listening or watching this show that doesn't know who the hell these dudes are, could we take a real quick intro before we get back into this fun shit? Jesse's in pink, Ben's in white. Tell us a little bit about your show, or I know it's a little bit more than you guys used to smoke weed together.
I like that you went with shirt color, not skin color. That's very progressive of you.
Well, I mean, we really had you on because it's February and Ben kind of knocks off a mark for us.
And I'm Worcester's top urban comic, so
Are you really?
yes.
I
Congratulations.
gave him the nickname when we first met. I was like, this guy's a killer. Worcester's top urban comic. And now it's a great introduction. People are always surprised. They're always like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, Worcester's top urban comic. This guy kills it everywhere.
We were in Texas. They're like, are you serious? So like, how did you get that? I'm like, I was voted in 3 years in a row. Like, it's up to the people.
Unanimous.
He's the people's champ. That's his thing.
You taking LinkedIn business calls
I
right
was
now?
going to say, somebody getting a call from their secretary?
Oh no, it's
Epstein?
an emergency work call that I will promptly ignore. Don't you worry.
There you go.
If you got to take it, Ben, you can take it.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm Jesse Burlingame, 33, single, Worcester's top urban comic, soon to be relocating to Austin, Texas. I do need a job. Stand up in podcasting is not paying the bills right now.
Yet.
Not yet. Patreon.com/LonelyMans. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Ben Bo. I'm actually originally from Africa, but I grew up in Colorado. I've been out in Mass for like 4 years now. That's where I met Jesse, doing the comedy thing. We started kicking it heavy, doing lots of comedy together when that was still a thing. RIP stand up. And then we started the podcast together around the time we're like, well, we can't do stand up together. What else can we do? The next best thing, start a podcast like everyone else. So that we did.
Yeah. I saw a thing that says women talk to therapists and men start podcasts.
Pretty
That's
much.
exactly what, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working through some issues over the last year.
Yeah, we definitely worked through our issues on the podcast. That's not even a joke. You can't.
And now we brought Paul back on, and now we're just psychoanalyzing Paul for 60 minutes a week.
Oh, geez.
Can you get a therapist as a man without a woman's suggestion? Like, do men just on their own go get therapists, or do you need to like be seeing a woman consistently and then be suggested it? Like,
That's how I got into therapy 2 years ago.
Genuinely?
Yeah, my girlfriend was like, you need to go talk to somebody about this shit.
like men have never I don't think any man has like gone to find a therapist on his own, right? Like every single one is always like, my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife, the court. Somebody ordered me to get a therapist. That's the only time men ever get therapists. Somebody made him do it. I feel it.
True. In Step Brothers, it was his mom.
Yeah, somebody, like 90% of the time, it's usually a woman. And even sometimes, if you say 95, if you count female judges, but we're versatile, and that's okay. It's a thing.
It has nothing to do with access or privilege. It's just misogyny.
Straight up misogyny. Good old fashioned misogyny.
That's what our society's built on. We're very strong on.
No, actually, it's the matriarchy pushing you into therapy.
Oh,
it's big matriarchy.
Yeah, it's the toxic masculinity needs to be pushed out with positive femininity. That's the opposite, right? Everyone talks about toxic masculinity, then no one ever talks about positive femininity.
Okay.
Is this a podcast full of feminists? I consider myself a feminist, and that's no joke aside. Like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. Like, my wife wants a truck. I'm cool with that. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm gender biases and all that shit. That's outdated.
Does that make you a feminist for being okay with people going by whatever they want and doing whatever they want? I don't know.
I think so. I don't know. I mean, by no means, I'm not card carrying by any degree, but like, I am all for live and let live. I don't give a shit. Just
I don't claim male feminist because most of the guys that do turn out to be rapists. So.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been seen.
If you claim male feminist as a dude, I feel like it's only a ploy to get chicks. Like, that's as a single guy. Like, if you have a girl and you're like settled in a relationship, so you're married, so you can like claim a male feminist to people like he's already married. He's not doing this to get chicks. But if
somebody locked him up.
Yeah, he's already locked down. We don't worry about him, right? You're now, what is it when a guy's married? You're non-threatening. I think that's what happens, right?
Is that what it is?
I
guess so.
I don't know the exact psychology or terminology, but I feel like once you're married and like women know your wife, you become like, they put you in this like non-threatening pool. I don't know. They look at
friends. It's called the friend zone.
Yeah. We have different friend zones, by the way. Rick.
I think marriage makes dudes more attractive because like women want things that they can't have, like unavailable men.
So I will say that like back in my dating days, I always seemed to get more interest in women or from women when I was dating somebody than when I was alone. But I also think that had something to do with like my own personal, like the way I was putting myself out. Like,
oh yeah, you're not desperate in trying anymore. You be yourself, which is the most attractive.
I don't know. I only got interest when I was a bartender because they had to show interest in me, so I would give them drinks.
That's a good play. That's really putting yourself in position to win. You're shooting.
Yeah, I mean, then I got a girlfriend at the bar I worked at closed, and here we are.
Perfect timing.
Man. The Lord works in mysterious ways, Ricky, right? That's what they say,
Like, we gotta lock this down. I need attention and health insurance. So let's make
it. Listen.
And then like the pandemic hit, and I was like, whew, the timing was fucking perfect.
Somebody got to pay them bills, Let's jump in on this.
So is this the kind of stuff you guys normally talk about on your podcast? I know you said you psychoanalyze Paul. Oh, I thought we were going to bring him up.
Who?
The third person.
Yeah, no, we have no plan. We just go. And then lately it's just, we've been talking a lot about pornography. We're trying not to do that anymore because it's creepy. And it's like, I think we've covered enough of it.
Really in depth.
We're trying. I'm going to slide into the DMs of a male porn star and try to get him to be a guest on our podcast. Are you guys familiar with dicktrainers.com?
Dick trainers?
Drainers.
No.
Oh, you're not well.
we brought it up to each other. All three of us were very familiar with this website without showing it to each other beforehand. We all had prior knowledge of this. So it's this black dude in a ski mask and crew socks, like neon colored crew socks in gym shorts. And I don't know how like vulgar I could be in this podcast.
You can be as vulgar as you want. Yeah, we have no.
He face fucks girls for about an hour. That's the whole video.
Good God.
Yeah. And then
this is what it's like being a single guy during a pandemic.
You all really lonely.
We're really living up to the name lately.
He brought the rim job back, made it really cool. That's
He brought it back.
Yeah, he brought it really hard.
I think his Twitter bio says we didn't invent the rim job, we just perfected it.
You can't make this shit up. That's what he does. He did perfect the rim job on there. So,
but the best part is when he comes, he just goes, oh,
for like 30 seconds. He's just he's like
he's going
like
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he's like a Saiyan powering up. He's just like and then right when he's done, he goes Super Saiyan 2 on him.
It's a lightning bolt out of his wang.
Yeah, all of a sudden
someone needs to edit that with like the hair going up.
Yeah, he just gets afro and then it switches to blades when he goes Super Saiyan 2 and braids itself.
It's absolutely insane. But the guy's been doing it for 5 years. And like we brought it up to other lonely open mic comics in Austin. We're like, oh, you know, dick traders are like, no, you're like, you know, the black guy in the ski mask and the face fucks. Like, oh, yeah. Why did you just say that?
Why did you just call him by his name?
Like, I was trying to be professional and use his stage name, but
has he responded to your DMs yet?
No, I should hit him up today. Actually, he might have the day off. It is President's Day. So
you should DM him, bro. DM him. That could be our thing. You know, we need guys to get the random male porn stars who don't get enough attention. No love on the male porn.
Yeah, because like the average woman lasts like 3 months in the porn industry, but like men last like decades. So like they have all like the wild and weird stories. So like that's why I want to talk to this guy.
I was really interested in like Riley Reid on the Doug Benson podcast. She was an interesting guest. I didn't know she smoked weed as much as she did, but it doesn't really surprise me.
She's been in the game a while.
That's what surprises you. That's what surprises
it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. That's what I found interesting about Riley Reid.
Well, I mean,
smokes weed.
The amount of weed she was holding up. She was stepping toe to toe with Doug, and Doug is. I can't think of somebody that has a higher tolerance. Maybe Snoop Dogg.
Ooh, Snoop
or the dick trainer.
I don't know. He's too aggressive for as much pot to smoke like that. He's in the game.
I bet that dude has never touched a drug in his life. He's one of those guys.
Bro, he's got I don't smoke weed energy. He's like he's got I don't jack off energy. Like he's just ready for it.
Yeah.
Like he's just waiting.
His bio also says he's a 3-time entrepreneur. Like he's probably got like business degrees and shit. I bet he doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't even like sex. He just knows that it can sell and make money. He's a true capitalist. That's what I believe that this guy's all about.
He doesn't believe in sex, but he will do it for money. And that's capitalism, you know?
He doesn't even enjoy it.
No, he's probably gay.
All work.
He's straight for pay.
All work.
Straight for pay.
You know, it's a hard game. It's a hard life out here. You know, you gotta do what you can.
So is that the kind of work you guys are looking at in Austin? Like what brings you to Austin?
Yeah, I don't know what the adult entertainment scene is like in Austin, Texas, but we're about to find out.
We're on the Austin couch. We'll see how it goes.
We just got a green screen. We're gonna start shooting our own Dick Traders videos in the apartment. And we'll just like put like a Miami background behind us or something.
First, it'll just be me and Jesse, but we'll get past it. You know?
No, you can digitally add a female person.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just put a ski mask on Ben. No one will even know the difference.
Whoa! What do I got? I feel like maybe. Well, if we have 2 black guys, we might be confused. You know, 2 black guys in a ski mask.
I went through the site. I don't know how deep you guys want to go on Dick Traders. I went through the site and was looking through the stars of the website, and it's mostly women. But then it would be different black dudes. Like I thought it was just the one guy, Brandon Richards, but there's like multiple black dudes on there. So now I think it's like an MF Doom thing where he just gives them the ski mask.
Yo.
And like me, a white dude can't tell the difference.
That is like that's like the Shakespeare of porn, right? Like, you know, people say like Shakespeare was a bunch of different people. This could be it could be like the Shakespeare of porn. It's very poetic, his work. You know,
I heard that shit recently too, that a lot of Shakespeare's work isn't really his. Like they think they just took a bunch of work that was created around that same time and they didn't know who did it and they just accredited it to him.
Oh, it's like the Bible.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So Dick Drainer, Shakespeare, the Bible, same thing. They're all one and the same.
The Holy Trinity, right?
The Holy Trinity, that's right.
I love how this and for somehow we went from the Dick Drainer's website to turning him into Shakespeare and MF Doom at the same time.
I was like, yeah, Ben went to college. He brings up Shakespeare, and I'm like, oh, he's like the rapper.
MF Doom.
I was gonna bring up MF Doom, but you brought up MF Doom, so we had to switch it up. You know, we can't both bring up MF Doom, even though
It's all about balance.
Yeah, Jesse only watches documentaries, so anytime I watch anything with Jesse, it's always a documentary. So yeah, Jesse's never seen any movie you've seen. Jesse has never seen, unless it's a documentary.
No, but I probably
I don't watch movies.
You don't watch movies?
Nah.
What do you watch?
Oh yeah, Ricky and I have that in common. We're both documentary guys.
Yeah.
Documentary?
I actually do. Yeah. I like if I'm gonna put something on without my girlfriend putting it on, it's almost always a documentary or that's it.
Do you also hate biopics? Like the reenactment movies?
Oh, yeah. Because
they just make it up.
Yeah, they're never true to the story because you have to like falsely create drama.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't watch the Queen one that came out a couple years ago. I heard that was horrible.
It was rough because they had to give equal screen time to everybody. So what should have been the Freddie Mercury story turned into the Queen story with like the Freddie Mercury muddied by the rest of the narrative. As I understand it, I didn't see it.
Does anyone even know the other members of Queen besides Freddie Mercury?
Brian,
the guy from American Idol,
the guitar player, Brian something.
That's the
Brian
thing.
May.
You don't even know his name. Y'all were guessing at his name. He's Brian something, and that's
Brian May.
Everyone knows.
Brian may be his name. We're not.
Yeah, that's as close as you guys are getting. I think y'all are making this up. He could be Brian April. Y'all don't know. He's somewhere in there. We get it. But
it's actually MF Doom playing guitar
the whole time. Yeah, everyone knows Freddie though.
Now I want to know if people think Dick Drainer, like if they can tell the difference when it's not really him, and they're like they boo him during his set, and he's like in the middle of doing some deed to some woman.
He just has to drop the dick out of the girl's mouth.
You ain't real. That ain't the real you.
It's like when there's like a new masked like artist. And they're trying to figure out who he is by his tattoos, but they're like doing screenshots of like where the vein is on each shot of his dick. And they're like, that vein's in the wrong fucking spot. That's not the same guy.
Yeah, there's like MS Paint, like circles around him and like arrows being drawn.
Look at this freckle here, and look at this freckle here.
Turns out it was Hannibal Buress the whole time.
I'm just waiting for somebody to Scooby Doo him on a shot. Like, you're not the criminal.
I would have got away with it too.
Exactly.
Wasn't for you damn perverts.
If it wasn't for you above 18 kids.
TikTok foils him again. That's the kind of shit that TikTok would like make its mission to solve. That's what they've been doing.
They do it too.
I've been following that shit too. Like the people that find people, and that shit's interesting.
I feel like the kids on TikTok who try to like solve crimes and save the world are way too talented and like determined to fix things than to focus on like a porn star. Like I feel like that's our job.
This is why Gen Z is going to take over and win.
Millennials are getting drowned out by Gen Z for sure. They're way more, and they're just better at like tech. They all like were born with technology, and they all saw like corrupt politicians and corporations, and they're all against it. They're like, fuck corporations, man. Like we got to do all this stuff. They like they stopped President Trump's rally and shit off of TikTok. Like, I feel like they just have better intentions than millennials. We're all just like, nah, dude.
Somebody made the argument that like we grew up in a point where it was peaceful. Like our childhood was a peaceful time in the nation. And so
we had fucking Hanson, man. Of course it was peaceful.
Where like these kids nowadays, they don't know a time without turmoil, or they don't know a time without some serious global event. And
right. Whether it's real or not, because they're just on their phones all day. Like we were actually outside with like birds chirping and shit.
Yeah, we were oblivious to anything that didn't happen on our street or at our school. We're like, nah, we ain't heard of that. Like, what? They're doing hoots or what? Where? Nah, we ain't about that life. Like, our block is chill. Because that's how people are, right? Like, they watch, like, you hear all this crazy stuff on the news, and you look outside, you're like, nah, it ain't me.
Yeah.
Ain't shit popping
from my house.
Yeah. Right. So when you grow up and that's all you know, like you go outside and like, nah, life is good. We just chilling. We just out here in these streets. I mean, we shot some BB guns at some windows and ran. We're thugs. So, we're hard.
And like, no one videotaped it.
Yeah,
There's no proof of it.
Right. We didn't incriminate ourselves.
Yeah.
No face, no case.
20 years later here on No Face, No Case. Ben's got all these great rhymes, man.
This is what happens when I wake and bake. I'm a lot more.
He's sharp for a job in advertising out in Austin.
I'm just, I'm going to be one of those fast talking ad men.
Just a slogan writer.
If I could be any kind of ad man though, I'd have to go back to like the Mad Men times, right? We'd be like, hey, let me smoke cigarettes in public and write this advertisement.
I don't know if they would have you, Ben.
Yeah.
Hey, you might not want to go back.
You
to
need
that
a good bulletproof resume.
No, you just need to be in the right cities and be really athletic, and just, hey, what's up? You just bobbing and weaving all the times, and then being like, every crew needed one, like I would have just been the Sammy Davis Jr. of the ad world. Like that would have been fun. Just, there's always got to be one. That would have been me, Sammy Davis Jr. of the ad world, in a perfect world. I always feel like I was born in the wrong generation, though. I feel like I should.
You want to wear a suit to work? You said you used to. Do you want to wear a suit to work? You said you wore a suit to Walmart.
Well, because I was working on the corporate side. So after that, I used to work like corporate America and wear suits to work. I do like wearing a suit. I just don't like going to work.
Are you the Sammy Davis of Walmart?
So we were trading Walmart stories. I worked at Walmart for a chunk in between school. So like the summer of junior and senior year, whatever. Anyway, and we were just doing remodeling. So we got brought in. My shift started at noon and it would go to like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. It was weird. I remember a time where I was.
It's a long fucking day.
I think it was like started at 2. I don't know. I'm all fucked up because I'm trying to remember the point of my story, which is there was a woman, which is remember the push to talk shit where it would just like bleep and then the voice would come out.
The next cell?
Yeah. So she was in the card aisle. We were like a next aisle over, pulling shit off and looking to move this whole shelf. And the thing comes up and it's like, babe. And she goes, oh, hi, babe. What's up? And he goes, I took all your shit and I threw it on the yard. I want you fucking out of here. And this woman just starts bawling. And the only thing that came out of her mouth, I'm at Walmart. And I'm the next aisle over trying not to laugh my fucking head off because I feel bad, but it's also, why would you deliver that information that way?
That's got to be the only person who's ever been broken up with over walkie-talkie.
I can't imagine it's the only.
No, the next tells were cool, right? Chirp, chirp. Yeah, I'm breaking up, babe.
What do you want, dog? We over, bitch.
We over. Yeah, I heard it clear as a bell. All your shit's in the yard, and I want you the fuck out.
Oh man. Imagine getting chirped to get dumped in public. That would be the worst chirp ever. But like nowadays, though, if you were a dude and you did that, when somebody like record the whole thing and make you out to be a monster, like you couldn't make that play now.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely couldn't do that nowadays.
No, we always have to act like we're being recorded right now. It's constantly.
Yeah, I'm always worried about the fact that sometimes I'm always like, man, I can't do this. The government's recording me. And then I'm like, they don't even need to record me. I put all my thoughts out on the internet for fun. Like, why?
I say that every single time.
Yeah. Why do I care that they know things about me? Like I'm hiding anything from anyone anyways.
Yeah.
I'm expecting us not to get jobs in Austin after like a one simple Google search. But the LonelyMans YouTube pops up.
Oh, let's see what they're using. Oh, shit.
DinkTraders.com.
This episode of this podcast is going to cause all of us to never get jobs ever again. We started off with like underage human trafficking to dick traders.
Man,
some Worcester dive bar will have you back, Ricky. Don't worry.
True. That's my career path.
Yeah, listen, curfew just got released. They're going to be looking for scumbags anytime now. They're going to find you.
They're going to find you.
Yeah, that's man. I did one time. I was looking for jobs and I couldn't find a job. Like I was going everything, applying for anything, nothing. Then I suspended my Facebook back in like 2008. This was when this was. I suspended my Facebook and I got 3 interviews the next week. I don't know if they were coincidences, but it seemed like whatever I had on my Facebook, which in my college raging days was not good for Facebook. Not good at all.
The blacked out Ben Bo days.
Well, because I never took pictures, but so there was always pictures of me tagged by other people, which were never good. No one's ever taking like a great picture of you and posting it without your knowledge. It's always like, when the fuck did you take this? And you're like drunk over a trash can. Well,
Yeah, your Instagram's dope, but then when you click on the tagged pictures of you, it's just all the worst.
yeah.
Your eyes are closed every time.
Yeah, every time. You're like rocking short shorts with your dick hanging out past that screen. I mean, I'm not saying for example, but like maybe,
No, it happens to be every time.
Yeah. It's like, well, what happened? Like, oh, that time you threw up in the middle of a party and cleared it out. Like, we have that on video on your Facebook. I mean, not saying
I have a photo of that in my bathroom, actually, the time that I got sick at a party and decided to climb in the tub naked.
Oh, nice.
24 by 36.
He does. I've seen it.
Is it from? Are you mooning the picture? Is it just straight cheeks?
No, it's from my bachelor party. And I got wasted. I don't really drink. So that night they decided that they were going to put a ball and chain on my leg. And the only way for me to get the actual ball and chain off my leg was to get wasted. So I got ridiculously knocked out drunk on crack and rum.
Oh man, I love crack and rum.
Oh, it's
Crack
good.
and rum?
No, not crack. Yeah, really. So
I love that.
Like, are you a cop? You better hit this motherfucker right now.
So like 2 hours into this adventure, I just boot all over myself in the bathroom, decide it's my bachelor party. So they're going to come check on me. And I get completely butt ass naked and just climb in the tub. My brother comes and finds me and he goes, "What do you want? A bubble bath or something?" I said, "That's exactly what I want." And then one friend went and got lime scented dish soap. My brother ran the bath for me, and my other buddy was cooking food, and he made me meatloaf and macaroni and cheese. So I'm sitting in the bathtub.
It's disgusting.
Eating meatloaf and macaroni and cheese, and somebody asked me how I'm feeling, and I told him life is an excellent time. So as a graphic designer, I have other designer friends. Somebody took a picture, made it a 24 by 36 poster, and it's in my bathroom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's pretty gangster, actually. But my favorite part about this is the dude that decided he wanted to cook meatloaf. Like, what was it going on? Instead of like ordering food and burger, nah, dog, I got this. You want to order some food? Nah, I'm fucking cooking meatloaf, dog.
Actually, I'm telling you, it pays to have those friends, man, because that's what this dude likes to do. He just likes to make food.
Meatloaf. I've never one time gotten drunk at a bachelor party and been like, all right, time to bring in the meatloaf, dog. Let's go, meatloaf.
That's like Jimmy Cash's joke. He's like, who's on the phone making late night meatloaf calls?
Yeah, exactly.
This is Travis's friend in.
Oh shit, yeah. Jimmy does a whole joke about that. I was shocked that he said meatloaf.
We're gonna have Jimmy on probably in March.
Yeah, ask Jimmy about the meatloaf jokes. It's a good
Jimmy's our number one guest. I think we've had him on like 4 or 5 times. It would just be like every like few weeks, we're like, podcast is getting stale. Let's have Jimmy Cash back on here.
Technically, our number one guest is Paul Cyphers. I don't know if you.
It's true.
So Paul originally started the podcast with Jesse. So I wasn't on until like episode like 4 or something like that, right?
No, maybe 2. I think we got you on like immediately.
Yeah, I might have been on episode 2 as like a guest, but I wasn't on hosting the show full time until like episode 7. And then we hosted like 2 episodes with Paul, and then we did like 35 without Paul.
35 in a row.
Yeah.
And then
we went to Austin, and like everyone just like saw the 3 of us like hanging out and like just joking and riffing on shit the whole time. And one guy was like, "Dude, you got to get Paul back on the podcast. Like, you need to have like the 3 of you. Like, your energy together is so good." He's like, "You guys got to like, we're all gonna be a team moving down to Austin." So we're like, "Yeah, dude, come back on the." We didn't even discuss it. He just like started showing back up to the podcast again.
So it wasn't even official that he was off. He just kind of stopped.
He took a hiatus, I guess.
Yeah, he was just on unpaid leave for a while. He got that.
I think I only mentioned it once on the podcast. We did like a 2-hour podcast with our friend Al Christakis. And then like in the last 5 minutes, I'm like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Paul Cyphers is no longer on the podcast." All right.
And now he's back. So
yeah, now we got an official setup. We got a green screen behind us.
I saw the couch. The couch looked nice.
In Ben's living room. Is that couch coming to Austin?
I probably not. I mean, we can, but then we got to drive it down to Austin somehow, which is a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna just discuss the logistics of it. We're moving in like 6 weeks, and I'm not prepared whatsoever.
I don't have anything to take. That's not even my couch, so no, it's not coming to Austin. But we could buy another couch like that because it was like $200. It was cool,
Boom.
Yeah, the internet.
I've been telling everyone, I'm like, come down to Austin. You can sleep on our couch /podcast studio anytime you want.
Perfect. We're gonna
And then we'll just green screen footage of them sleeping like in the background and put you in like Paris or something.
Dude, live stream that. Put that shit up on Twitch. It'll blow up.
Live stream sleeping.
Someone is sleeping, but on the green screen you have like Jurassic Park playing behind them, so it looks like they're a sleeping body in Jurassic Park. That shit would be hilarious to me. We should do that.
Just have it keep changing. Have it make it look like the Matrix at one point.
Yeah. We just green screen random scenes where their body would just freak out in movies, and then we just have random people sleeping just green screened on it. That's a great idea.
I'm into it.
Don't sleep on this couch. It's gonna be.
So why Austin, guys? Like, what's bringing you to Austin?
Joe Rogan.
Jesse, that's Jesse. I'm not so.
The whole stand-up scene is moving down there. Rogan's a huge part of it, but Rogan moved down there because it's like the only city that's open right now, and it's basically like LA in Texas, even though Austin's like trying so hard not to like have that like moniker.
Well,
but
I mean, my reason is a little bit different because I was gonna move down there before I ever met Jesse and Paul. Before I came to Boston, because I had family here, I wanted to move down to Austin, but some stuff was going on. Then I was like, I'll be out here for like 6 months to a year, and then I'll move to Austin. This was back in like 2017, and then things just kept happening. I got a job. Comedy started going better. I was like, I'll move next year. And I'll keep moving next year. And then like this pandemic hit. I was like, all right, I think it's about time. And then Jesse and Paul were like, yeah, we want to move down to Austin. Rogan's moving down there. I was like, well, this is perfect. For me, I can't fuck with the snow anymore, man. I'm done. It's a wrap. Like every time it snows outside, I just get pissed. And I go outside, it's like 20 degrees. And I look on my phone, Austin's like 72. And I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm out. So
it did snow. It snowed in Austin like last night.
Yeah, they got like 1 inch and people are going crazy making snowmen and shit.
Yeah. That's a place I want to be where like once or twice a year we get snow and people are like, whoa, snow day. Let's go make snowmen. That's cool. We're like every other day it's like 9 inches.
The day we left, they got snow and everyone was like, hey, watch out, it's gonna snow. They're like, do you know where we're driving back to right now?
Yeah, like over it. I'm so over these cold ass winters. I'm like, it's done.
Okay.
But now they also, a lot of things, like everything's moving down to Austin. They say it's going to be the place that blows up. A lot of comedy clubs. Creeks and
already
Caves
blowing up
down there too.
Yeah. Elon Musk was on Rogan the other day. He said it's going to be like the biggest population boom of a city in like 50 years, something like that.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's the climate like you guys are describing. Like one of my favorite creative companies, this company called Rooster Teeth. They're based in Austin and they've been championing Austin for years. And like, there's
I spent one night in Austin and it was a fucking blast. So I'm jealous.
Yeah, we spent
a week and it was fucking lit.
Yeah, we were there for 8 nights. Like the first week of January, we got there like January 2nd, I think, and stayed till the 10th. And like we hadn't done so. Like my last like official comedy show in Worcester was like March 14th last year.
Oh.
Then that was like my last like indoor show at the Woo-Ha-Ha on Franklin Street. And then we did outdoor shows at the Beer Garden from like July to October. And then one show in November, Ben and I did at Gillette Stadium at sounds bigger than at the conference room inside Gillette Stadium.
Leave that part out.
Don't leave it. We'll just leave it at Gillette Stadium.
It was very socially distanced, way up in the stands. But yeah, then after November, we didn't do any stand up at all. We did like a few open mics maybe, but like we went to Austin and it was like nothing had ever changed except for the mask thing. Like that was like the only difference. Otherwise, like everything was wide open. There was stand up every night. We were able to do like 5 sets in a week, which we hadn't done in 9 months. Yeah, it was insane.
Huh.
Yeah, it was.
Clubs were wide open. It was like spring break every day down there. Like I hadn't heard a live band play in like a year, and like every other club had live bands. They had DJs going. There were like door guys like barking people in. Like
what?
Yeah, it's like another universe.
They blocked off 6th Street downtown in like Austin, like where the party area is. They blocked it off so like the throngs of people could walk in the street and go from bar to bar to go out on like a weekend night. They do this in Austin. The first week they tried to stop it, And the Texas Supreme Court was like, hell no, Austin County, you're going to open that shit up. And then they banned the stop, like straight up. The city tried to be like, no, we're shutting down. The Supreme Court was like, to hell you are, open that shit up. And they blocked off the street and did that the day we arrived. So the whole time we were there, like downtown Austin was popping.
That's terrifyingly awesome.
Yeah. It was the day after New Year's Day too. So like everyone had just partied like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, it was it's a trip, but honestly, it felt cool being down there, being able to just like have like stuff around you that you can just like walk to, and just be able to just walk outside and not have to fucking worry about freezing and shit. It felt like life was happening again. It felt nice.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm inviting myself to come sleep on your podcast set as soon as this shit is all safe and come down.
Dude, anytime. That's the thing. Like, we don't know when it's going to be safe. So like, that's why we're making the move.
Smart.
Yeah.
When I go live our dreams out and shit, like I can't wait for Charlie Baker to let me know when I can do that. Like Texas is like right now, dog. Anytime.
Come on down.
See, I respect the hell out of that though, because I mean, that's what I've talked to some of my musician friends about, is that as soon as this shit is done, as soon as they open it up, nationwide, it's going to be fucking blitzkrieg on tour schedules. It's going to be like, you're literally going to have all these options of shit. And if you haven't done something to continue like your fans or your impact throughout this thing, you are going to be fighting an uphill battle because everybody else is going to be way louder than you. And like, so I give you guys a fuck ton of credit in the middle of this whole shit to be like, all right, this is our next spot. And this is how we're going to progress this shit and get to the next level. And fuck yeah, boys. Good luck.
Yeah, that's why we started the podcast too. We're like, we got to keep trying to be funny the whole time. We can't get on stage. Like, we need to just talk shit to each other. We got to do something there.
Yeah. I mean, because we were doing before, like back in like 2019, before pandemic hit, and even up until 2020 when things hit, like up in like by the time March had hit, I think Jesse, you'd already done almost 100 sets for the year. And I was already at like 8. Yeah. And I'd taken I was out of town the first 10 days of the year, but I was already at like 80. So it's like we were, and like in 2019, we did over 300 sets. I did like 330 something. And in Worcester, that's tricky because you have to drive like an hour to go places. So you imagine that time, if you count the time you're out of town, like you were doing comedy almost every single night, or like very rarely taking nights off. So like, that was everything to what we were doing, like up until that point. And then you just, one day it's like March 14th, I was doing Nick's Comedy Stop. And I was like, this will be fine. A couple of weeks. Boom. I wasn't doing on another stage for like probably 4 or 5 months after that point. It's like, and now like when they talk about like all the crazy stuff happening to people, I'm like, it makes sense. Like you imagine you're living life one way, then just like overnight, they're like, nah, you can't do that anymore. Like, yeah. Fuck with a lot of people, and it fucked with me in like ways I didn't even know were possible when it first happened, and there was a lot to adjust. So I can't imagine what other people are going through. Like for me, I'm just always like a very carefree, don't give a fuck type of person, but like for a lot of people, that may be a lot. Exactly. I don't know. Right. Like, and that's a trip, man. So I can't imagine what people go through when your life changes like that.
Yeah, because we were involved with stand-up every single night. So then we had to stop and actually be with ourselves for like 4 months.
Well, I mean, I feel you. Like in the middle of this thing, I think I've forgotten how to talk to people. I think I've forgotten how to be like, communicate the way normal humans do. And
I had that same thought the other day. That's so funny. I was like, I don't know if I remember how to be funny around people anymore. Like, like how you don't know how to like associate with people. Like, I'm like, what do people talk about now? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. I'm just in this echo chamber of my room and Jesse talking about dick trainers. Like, I don't know what that looks like.
This is what everybody's talking about now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what everyone does. Turns out,
when we got to Austin, like, and the same with the shows in July, we hadn't done stand-up in months, but then like once you're on stage, it took me like 2 minutes to like shake a little bit of the rust off. And I was like, oh, this is what we do. We were just like back in it again, because we got so many reps the year before. But like Travis was saying, like, you got to be prepared for when this shit opens up again. Like, you got to have like some sort of practice.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be like completely rusty. And then everyone in Austin is just like 10 levels above us because they never stop.
And that's exactly it. Like, if you're rusty, those people aren't going to be rusty because they've been practicing. So they're just going to blow you out of the water.
Yeah.
Especially because comedy's like that. Like, you need that rhythm of being on stage all the time. Like, after like there's a different like when I was even this summer, like when we were doing shows after not being on stage for like 4 or 5 months, and then you go on stage like once a month, you're like, oh shit, like and it takes a second versus like when you're on stage every single night, when you go 30 nights in a row and you do night 31, you're walking out stage and you're just letting your dick hang. Like you're just swagging out there. Like I do this, you know, there's like a different feeling that you have when you're doing it all the time versus when you're like, oh man, I haven't been on stage in forever.
Yeah.
See, am I doing this material? I have to write out the set. I'm trying to remember little tags, little things. And you're just like, you're trying to get it back, but it's not exactly the same.
The last night we were in Austin, we were on stage. It just started clicking again, and then we had to leave.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that last night, I remember I was feeling on there. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this thing, and I had a pretty decent set that night. And then after that, it was like, all right, haven't been on a comedy stage since. So,
yeah,
it's hard to go back to, man. Because comedy is all about confidence. That's like everything that comedy is. It's all about confidence. You look at like the best comics. All of the greats, the one thing, whether their style is all different, the one thing they all have is that confidence, that swagger of doing it and that repetition of knowing they're funny. And there's no other way to get that besides being on stage. It's not like other things where you can kind of like practice on your own and do that. Like comedy requires an audience and a stage, and that's hard to replicate.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you guys have like a base in Austin? Like, do you have friends down there who kind of like got you these gigs, or did you just reach out and book it all yourself and head down there?
A little bit of both. A few guys that we know from open mics up here in New England, like a couple of our friends from New Hampshire, one of our friends from Providence, they all moved down there.
Okay.
And people were giving me sort of like the same names. So a couple people said, reach out to Marty Clark. So I just like cold DM'd him and was like, hey, my friend's not going to be in Austin these dates if you have any shows. And he was like, yeah, I'll throw you on my Monday night show. So then the night we showed up in Austin, we went to another show at this place, Shakespeare's, and we watched the show there. And then afterwards we went and introduced ourselves to all the comics. And they're like, are you guys on any shows this week? I was like, yeah, I hit up this guy, Marty Clark. And they're like, oh, that's him right there. Like he was like sitting at the same like table. So I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man, Jesse? And then like Marty Clark ingratiated us into the scene and hooked us up all week. And then it turns out they just got announced last week that the Creek in the Cave, it's a big stand-up club from Long Island City, Queens, New York. A lot of like big comics came out of there, like started there. They closed in New York a few months ago, and now they're officially moving to Austin, Texas. And Marty Clark is the co-owner of that club.
Yeah.
So we met the right guy the first night we were there.
At the right damn time. And like, because like apparently he said before all this happened, he was running like one show a week, just another comic, because everyone in Austin is from somewhere else. So a lot of the comics moved down there. And he's like, I moved here from Milwaukee. I'm trying to figure it out. All of this happened. He starts running pretty much all the shows going on. And next thing you know, Tony Hinchcliffe, the guy that does the Kill Tony podcast from whatever, and he's like a writer and stuff, he's out there calling him like the mayor of Austin comedy because he's everywhere. Like, and then we just happened to meet that dude shortly, a couple of months after that, and here we are. So it just happened to work out. And he put us on spots, and we did well too. Like he put us on some shows, and we took some bullet spots and whatever, and went out and did our thing as well. So I think that helped.
Yeah, he's one of the guys who, when COVID hit, he didn't stop. He just started working harder. So all of like the old school, like bigger comics from Austin, they all like, some of them are older, they got families, like they didn't want to take any chances. Marty's young and hungry, so he just got out there, started running bar shows. Now he's like booking him, but like I think he had at least one show a night, if not two, for January when we were down there. Had like over 30 shows. And now everyone's calling him like the king, the mayor of Austin comedy. And he's like, dude, like 3 months ago, he's like, I was fucking nobody. He's like,
yeah,
that's exactly it, man. That shows like anything you want to do. If you put the effort in, if you make it your fucking priority, it's yours. It's fucking yours as much as you want it. And like to the point that some people might say, oh, well, these guys were lucky that they found him. And yeah, a little bit of luck, but it was also self-made luck. You fucking talked to people, you did your research, you put yourself in the situation to fucking that's business, man. Like creating your own luck. Sorry, Ben.
No, you're right. I'm just saying, like, and all the people that might say it's lucky, like, yeah, if you had an opportunity to do these shows, but maybe you sucked as a comic or you sucked as a show producer, or you couldn't get the job done right, then it wouldn't have lasted long. People wouldn't have been going to you if you couldn't do it right and you couldn't do it well. So that part takes all effort and work. That's zero luck. Yeah, maybe you got an opportunity that somebody else didn't. But what you make of the opportunity is what separates everybody, because eventually everyone gets a chance. And a lot of people are never ready for that chance.
Yeah, they say luck is preparation and opportunity together.
Yeah, you need both. You need both. So you can say that someone got lucky, but a lot of the time when people get lucky, like they were just happen to have an opportunity and that's all they needed. They're just like, nah, I'm taking this ball and I'm running with it. You're not taking it from me. And so I can always appreciate that. I don't sweat the rest, but he's Marty Clark doing big things out there. So looking forward to going back and working with him as well.
I genuinely hope people got through all the dick jokes and all the rough stuff at the start of this podcast to get to this, because this shit's been fantastic.
That's the lonely man. We'll drain your dick and warm your heart at the same time. That's what we do.
Man, I've written down like 3 or 4 different title options.
We'll drain your dick and warm your heart.
Yeah, we're the best.
We're dick drainers and tear jerkers. That's what we do.
We'll jerk those tears and train. Yeah.
Where you jerk tears. Where can people find you guys jerking tears?
Lonely Man's Podcast. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Free episodes every Monday. And then if you want bonus episodes, subscribe to patreon.com/lonelymans. Every Friday, we got new bonuses up there. We just upgraded the podcast, so check out the new YouTube video. We got green screen shit. I started fucking around with that. And then I'm on Instagram at jesse.burlingame.
Yeah, you can find me on the gram at the THEE Ben Bo on Instagram. And then you can find me at LonelyMans, Patreon, YouTube, free, Spotify, all of it. Look up the Lonely Mans. That's mostly where you find me at. Some Stoneconia podcasts that we're putting out there as well. Working on a couple different things. So
hell yeah.
Check us out.
Well, you boys have been delightful to talk to, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck down in Austin.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. I can't wait to watch you guys live stream sleeping. It's gonna be fucking great.
Told you, it's up here. It's gonna be good.
Those dudes are so goddamn funny.
The best.
I'm a little bummed that, like, I've known Jesse for a little while now, and I didn't realize how cool he was. Not really how cool he was, but like, we could totally be doing more stuff with those guys. But now they're going to Austin, so we're gonna have to do it digitally.
The city of dreams.
Is that true?
No, I don't actually know. I was there.
Los Angeles.
I was there for one night and I had an absolute blast. I know a bunch of people who have moved there and have considered it to be an absolute blast. Yeah, it's pretty. They're definitely moving there at the right time.
Yeah, clearly, and they're meeting all the right people.
Yeah, for sure. That's so sick.
So hopefully they aren't going to get too famous too quickly, because I want to go visit them and have someone to hang out with.
True. Me too.
But if they're busy, and they're famous, they're just going to leave
maybe they'll get interviewed. Maybe they'll get interviewed on like a bigger podcast, and they'll tell them about the time they're interviewed on this podcast.
Yeah, Ben and Jesse. Remember to tell Joe Rogan about us.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
Well, we're not going to get support that way, Ricky.
Joe Rogan fucking knows how I feel about him. What? Sure he knows.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hit us with that good Solon.
Stokes and pokes, Stokes and pokes, Stokes and pokes and Stokes and pokes, banana Stokes and banana pokes and Stokes and pokes and Stokes and banana.
All right, I'm gonna start by poking. I've been getting more into Twitch, like we keep bringing up, and I'm kind of just keeping an eye on it more. Did you hear what happened over the weekend on Twitch?
No.
Okay, so it's related to music, which is why it fits this show.
Oh, the Metallica thing?
Bingo.
Yeah.
So
I was like, how did I not hear about this? I did hear about this.
There's a thing called BlizzCon, which is a conference put on by Blizzard Entertainment. They make a bunch of nerdy games. World of Warcraft, Magic the Gathering, I think, is underneath them. But anyway, they make a lot of games. They bring a lot of people that are video game fans together every year, and this is where they release their biggest updates and all their news, and then it always culminates with a big concert. It's been Tenacious D in the past, it's been Metallica other times. It was Metallica this year. They did it way late, and they did it all digitally, but they still did it. If you were watching through Blizzard's Twitch channel or YouTube channel, when Metallica started playing, you were welcome to a full performance of Metallica. However, if you were watching via the Twitch gaming channel, you were welcome to this. And it went on that way with that weird Zelda light music for the rest of their performance, because Twitch's DCMA program is so damn broken that they didn't have the rights to Metallica's music. Blizzard had the rights, and they would have gotten their own takedown.
So insane.
So there's got to be a better way to do this stuff. Like, there's got to be a better way to obviously everybody's on the same page. Like, this is nuts. With the amount of times it's getting taken down on Instagram, there's got to be a way for these musicians to get a little bit of money or whatever for this stuff. But for us, civilization, us people, to actually use this music because it's part of our lives and we want to share it. And anyway, everybody's after a buck.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, I understand yes, they need to get paid. And I definitely 100% agree with that. But also, like, figure out how to adapt to the way that people fucking consume music now, because it sure as hell isn't the radio, bro. Sorry, Metallica.
I mean, and especially if anybody, Metallica set this all in order when Lars sued Napster, what,
He's such a
years ago?
He's the worst fucking drummer ever. I feel the same way about Metallica that I feel about Joe Rogan. Like, it's just not for me. There's not enough Monster Energy drink in the world to get me to like either one of them. Everything
after Load is just that, a load.
The only song I like is Fuel.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that much I deserve.
Avril Lavigne did the best version of that song, so fuck that.
Take your word for it. So I'm stoked we met this woman, Maria, who is one of the organizers of the Worcester Free Fridge. There's 2 organizations here in the city, both providing mutual aid to people that just need food assistance. One's down by the bridge, but the one that these people run is over at Fantastic Pizza, which is at 910 Main Street here in Worcester. They are opening a second fridge at 44 Portland Street, which is near Technicopia. They're open and accepting donations. If they don't want meat, they don't want perishable items, but if you have, food in your pantry or you want to go shopping, like she put it great on our show the other night, where if we now all of us just work into our normal shopping habits, grabbing 1 or 2 extra things with the intent of just putting it in the free fridge just to give food to people, we fix the problems. Would be, nobody would go hungry.
Yeah,
so that's what Sarah and I did. We bought $20 worth of pasta and just like prepackaged dinners. And I hope some people got fed last night. You know what I mean? It didn't cost us much. It made us feel incredible. And I just kept thanking those people because they're the ones doing the hard work. I just went to the store and grabbed some stuff.
So, killing it.
So Woo Free Fridge or Woo Fridge on Instagram. Definitely check them out. Yeah, Woo Fridge. And, we'll probably be supporting them more and posting more.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Let's care about each other, people. What do you got for them, Ricky?
All right. So on a way less lighter note, my poke is Kemba Walker. I'm really going to need the Celtics to just sit Kemba Walker. All he does is ruin my life. He can't make shots anymore. He's garbage. Just sit him down for a little while. Please stop giving him the ball late in games, because all you're doing is losing games. And I'm eventually going to probably punch a table and break my wrist because I'm really freaking tired of it. It's annoying. You have other people that deserve to be taking shots, and Kemba Walker is not one of them. Ugh. Sorry, I just am sick of it.
No, let it out. Let that rage out, kid.
It's aggravating. My stoke is Newton Square Pizza, baby. Newton Square Pizza is the best fucking pizza in Worcester. I don't care what anybody says. You're wrong if you don't agree with me. Solon got it yesterday and texted me about it. Every single time I've posted it, I've had a bunch of DMs, comments, everything. Everybody who's had Newton Square Pizza loves Newton Square Pizza. It's perfect.
So I don't know, buddy. There's a new spot over here that
Frankie's?
Literally, what?
That Frankie's place?
Yeah.
At it?
Yes.
Okay, so
It's
I'm
fucking
gonna
great.
That's what I've heard. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm really, really excited to try that pizza. My loyalty still stands with Newton Square
We need
Pizza.
to have a pizza off then. That sounds like content for the Instagram.
We are probably going to do that with the homies at Redemption Rock. That's already been kicked around. So I think we're going to figure something out.
I'll bring the pizza from Frankie's. They have a large that's fucking 2 feet wide. It barely fit in my front door.
Yeah. I'm so pumped about that place. Like,
shout out Paul Lincoln. He was the one that put it on my radar. So
I saw it. The guy who runs that place, like, friend requested me on Facebook. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. Like, we're friends with a couple of people. I don't know half the people on Facebook. And then I started seeing this pizza pop up, and I was like, yo, what is this? And like, I mean, he's making the claim that he's the best pizza in Worcester. And like, now that he's been open for a couple of weeks, I know a handful of people who have gone, and every single person is like, dude, this pizza's great. So I'm excited. Naomi and I every single weekend say we're going to get it. And then I'm usually just too tired to drive across the city. So
I feel that. I understand that pain. I'm pumped that we're getting multiple pizza spots that are, that I would consider like good. Nothing against the pizza spots we have. It's just not the kind of style pizza that I grew up on. I grew up on a thinner New York style slice. And that's what Frankie's is putting out. And that's what like Birch Tree is doing. And that's what like Wonder Bar was doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like, so it's funny, like making the claim that Newton Square is the best pizza in Worcester. So many people have been like, what about Volturno? I'm like, all right, let's hold on a second. We're talking completely different animals here. Like, what you're getting from Newton Square is not even close to like what you're getting from Volturno. They're different, completely different ball games.
Yeah. Volturno is its own beast. Like you can't even get pepperoni at Volturno.
Really?
They have like sopressata or something fancy.
Okay.
All their ingredients and stuff are elevated. It's a wonderful pie. You're going to get a different experience.
For sure. Yeah. And like, I mean, the Birch Tree pizza is so fucking good. Like I love pizza. So I'm really happy there's just more places to get pizza from. But on the side of the city that I live on, and when you're looking for just a typical like neighborhood pizza spot, Newton Square, baby.
All right. Well, be on the lookout here because we are definitely going to do this pizza off. And now I want cheese pizza. So
me too. I want
for lunch.
Breakfast every day.
All right, people. Well, you've done it. You killed another hour. Listen to us ramble on, and we love you so much for it. Find us on the interweb, SeltzerTime.com, or you can go to the brand new Hustle and Work, HUS, just like that. Put an N in the middle. We'll put it in the link below. New stuff is dropping March 1st, but I'll give you guys a little secret. The store's open now. So if you want to treat yourself.
Hell yeah. Do it.
So thank you guys. I've been Travis. You can find me at Hunchback Travis.
I've been Ricky. You can find me at DickChuck77, Seltzer Time Official. We're on everything. Check it out. Hustle and Work. Look sick. Peace.
Love you.